everyone. Hope you are having a really good Friday. It is gorgeous here in Atlanta. Woke up to a really cool, crisp morning and went for a run. It was awesome. So if you are following along and are expecting to see some pretty pictures of stationery, I hate to disappoint, but I'm hopping on here today to talk to other small business owners. I started a series maybe 3 weeks ago. I was calling it kind of like business F-ups, things I've learned in the 15 years that I've had a small business, and started off talking about your vision and mission for your company. And today I'm really excited, which is weird for me to say, but I'm going to talk about finances. And that is definitely something that has been a struggle for me. When I was smaller, out of the house, I let my husband Jay do everything. He took care of all of the finances. And then as we grew, Windsor became my partner, and she does all of the accounting. She's awesome at finances. And I really just let other people handle that part for me because it overwhelmed me. I didn't understand it. I know I like to spend money, and I know we make money, but I really did not have a good grasp of it. So a few years ago, I was working with a business coach, and he told me to read Profit First. I printed this off because every time I get a book, I give it away to somebody, but this is the book, Profit First, by Mike Michalowicz. And by far my favorite financial book. It's actually a very easy read. I don't know, I have started probably 30 business books and maybe finished 2, but this one is a really good one. And I wanted to talk to you today about the money management system that he has come up with, and it is awesome, especially for people who are uncomfortable with finances and overwhelmed with them. A lot of us creative business owners, that's not our thing, is finances. I like to make things look pretty. Somebody else can do the finances. But if you're running your own business and you're scaling up, you really need to understand it. So I'm going to kind of quickly go over the principles, but let you know that Profit First is kind of a foolproof way to make sure that your business and you as a business owner are making a profit. So I like things like that. Like if you give me action items and you tell me do this, 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 and this, and I do it, and you're going to tell me that I'm going to make more money at the end, yeah, I'm going to sign up for that. So it's a money management system. It actually puts profit first. And what I mean by that is the traditional accounting system is you take your income, your sales and income, you subtract your expenses, and what is left over is your profit. That's the traditional accounting. That's the way your CPAs work. That's probably how you work in your household. And that's usually how most businesses run. For us, that wasn't really working. Something that's called Parkinsons Law happened to us. And it's the same thing if you buy a big house and you fill it with a bunch of stuff that you didn't have before and you didn't need. The same thing happens with money. So with Paper Daisies, I started off in my house, and then we moved into our first studio, and then we opened a print shop, and we were making more money, but we were also spending more money. And it was hard for me to understand, like, okay, we keep making more money, we keep growing, we're doing better, we're hiring people, then we moved into another space, and it just kept, it was like, this is great, we're making more money, and everything's great. But I realized every time we made more money, we ended up spending more money. And it was on things that we were investing in the business, so it wasn't like frivolous spending, but it was just frustrating with as much work as we put into it. So after reading this book, Mike Michalowicz does a different system. It's very similar to like the envelope system where you get maybe your paycheck and you put part of it in an envelope and hide it under the bed and just forget about it. Same concept, but his accounting practices, instead of putting income first and then your expenses, he actually does your income and your sales first, subtract out your profit, and what you're left with is your expenses. So the easier way that he describes it is like a small plate. Okay, so if you are going to a buffet and you get a big plate, you're most likely going to put food all over that big plate, right? You're going to fill it up to the sides. At least I do. I love food. If you go in with a small plate, you might stack it up a little higher. You're going to push it all the way to the end, but you're going to stay on that plate, and it's going to inevitably be smaller. Another idea is a tube of toothpaste. You know how when you get a brand new tube of toothpaste and you put it on, it's all fat and you get that big old, you got clean teeth, fresh breath. As that toothpaste tube gets smaller and smaller, by the end, you're using like the smallest, teeniest amount just to get enough on there. So it's the same concept with finances. By taking out your profit, and we started small, we only started with 1%. So let's say a paycheck, we had a paycheck come in of $1,000. We would take 1% of that and sorry, I was the only one here. 1% of that and put it away in an account that we do not touch. We forget about it. It's actually at a separate bank from our other bank. And every single check that comes in, every single payment that comes in, 1% goes to that profit. So you are putting profit first, and you will start to spend less because you have less for your expenses. And it's natural. You'll think of ways, you'll revisit all the different things that you're spending money on. Maybe you'll go back and talk to Comcast. Can you get a better deal? Maybe you don't need to, spend what you're spending on, I don't know what it is in your business. So what Mike does is he tells you to open these certain accounts. There's 5 of them. I'm not gonna get too much more into this, but it is a very easy concept. If I can get it, you can get it. He has you open an income account, a profit account, owner's comp account, taxes account, and then operating expenses. And he actually has a worksheet that you can go through based off your company's finances and numbers, and you can input it, and you can start off at just 1%. You put money aside for taxes. I mean, the past 2 years, for taxes, we have had such a surplus that we've been able to either give bonuses or invest it back into the business. It's been awesome. Again, I'm not gonna go too much because I'm not a facilitator of this program. I'm just a believer in it. I will tell you that it removes the temptation. You actually open these bank accounts. They're free. Most of the time you can open all these bank accounts, these 5 for free. Working with a smaller local bank is smart. They love it. They'll open these accounts for you. And when you sock that profit away, you can decide every 3 months to take a dividend. You can invest it back into your business. You can pay yourself. You can pay your team members. Whatever you want, you have that profit. When Paper Daisies started using it, we went from 1% profit to 9% profit to 14% profit, and it's just gone up. So those are the kind of numbers that will make any business owner, especially a small business owner, really, really happy. It's easy when it's just you, maybe you, 1 or 2 other people. It's easy to keep your hand on, your finances, and you're probably making a lot because it's just you. You're working all the time, crazy hours. But when you start to scale and grow and you have these expenses of rent and utilities and payroll and supplies, materials, all of that, that's when something like this can be so, so, so important. So I wanted to share it with you. Again, sorry for anybody who's not, who jumped on here for paper, but this is some really important stuff. Profit first, easy read, one of the best things that ever happened to me personally and Paper Daisies. So have a good one.